Hey, you guys, it's me, Dr. Torie. My book is officially out. And yes, it is time to talk about ACEs. You guys can find the books everywhere. However, I would encourage you guys to go to my website, Be VicTORIEus.com, and place your order today. Yes, it's time to talk about ACEs. Let's go, y'all. Hello, 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 you guys. Welcome to another episode of Be Victorious. You know who I am. It's Dr. Torie, also known to the world as Dr. Victorious, the one that creates victory in others through understanding ACEs education. And let me share. Everybody knows how I am in regards to ACEs and extracurricular activity. You're going to want Queen Renee. And the reason why I say that, she's a writer. She helps writers, she helps therapists, she helps educators, she helps people like us put their thoughts together and come up with a plan to where we can help embrace who we are and what we do. Now, what's interesting is I was having a conversation with our producer, hey Marv, and he was like, where did all these people come from? Now, Queen Renee came from the multifaceted collective that we are a part of. Shout out to Eternity. Everybody knows Eternity. They know how much she of a value she is and how much she inspires others. I love that she has this ball of energy that brings women together. And it's my pleasure to have Queen Renee. I'm going to continue to call you Queen Renee because us as women, we need to do what we're doing. And having you here is my pleasure. Queen Renee, where are you?
Hello, hello.
That's the queen. That's who she is. My producer said, "Queen, is that what you want to be known by?" I people don't understand when we meet and when we collect as our collective and we talk. This is how we introduce ourselves. We embrace who we are because if we're not talking about our experiences or sharing who we are or empowering ourselves, then who will? So we're going to keep Queen Renee and who you are because that's who you have been to me ever since we've met. So it's my pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes, this is what we need to be doing. And we talk about it all the time. You guys, we meet just as women to just talk, to have conversations. And I think that's the reason why I'm heavy on community right now and meeting other cycle breakers because we don't realize us meeting and empowering each other and the impact that it has actually is really helping us. So I thank you really for being here.
I am very much overjoyed to be here and to get to be in your space. To see your beautiful shining face is a blessing.
It's just different because we talk about everything that we do, but we only have so much time to do it. So it's really an honor to be here. So let the world know who you are. You understand ACEs, correct?
I do, and it was a first hearing it from you. I hadn't ever really heard about the ACEs score until I took the test. So I was like, learn something new every day.
Interesting. So you have an ACEs score.
I do. And it was a 2 out of 10, I believe, when I took my test. It was very low.
And guess what? There's nothing wrong with understanding your ACEs score or having an ACEs score. One in three have it. And let's be clear, I think there's people that have put this dynamic or this negative stereotype around it. But as an ACEs advocate and a cycle breaker, somebody that just put my kid in school, so we've talked and we talk professionally, but we've also, put in some personal. This was around the time where, I'm transitioning, going from summer, moving, trying to get my kid in school and do all of that. And when I tell you this work is not for the weak, it is not at all. But what I tell you is what's helping me is the fact that I have an ACEs score. I don't hide it, I'm a five. But I also don't hide that it is a part of me. It has shaped me. It has helped me heal because I understand ACEs and I understand my story. So let's be clear. Congratulations and come on and join us over here on the good side because I just hate that so many people see it. You hear so many people talking about childhood trauma, and it's like childhood trauma. I'm a former educator, ACEs, or those past experiences, ACEs. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that relationship, that abuse was so toxic. Basis. So I'm just really trying to get people to understand. And I understand in our community it's something that we really don't talk about or we normalize. But what do you think? I mean, I know it's new to you, but what do you think?
There is a way that we were all brought up. And what we have not dealt with at one point comes up as we become adults, comes up some kind of way. And I learned that the issues that I had with my father over him not being there and my parents divorcing when I was a child, man, Renee didn't trust anybody. Renee trusted no one. And I was very like, I don't need you. I'm good over here. Renee's got her own thing going on over here. And you can stay over there. I don't need nobody. I just need my mother. I depended on my mother quite a bit. And I was like, cool, you know. But what happens when you have to start dealing with those things when your mother passes on? And you have to deal with that because you got to look at your father. He's the only parent you got. A lot of healing. And I didn't have it all together. It, I had to start healing with my father, and it wasn't easy. And he's passed on now. So it's something that you have to deal with in order for it to not deal with you. And if you walking around here, I'll be blunt and say it like this. If you're walking around here bleeding on people who never even cut you.
Ooh,
So,
come on, Renee, let them
yeah,
know. Let them know. Because these are the conversations we're not having. We're letting people bleed on us. I let somebody do it. I mean, that T word. Let's time out here. Let's time out. Because that T word, I've heard it so much today. Trust. And I will tell you that that's still an issue for me. I'm reading Bibles, reading devotionals, going over prayers in community circles and multifaceted collectives because I'm learning still how to trust. But I will share with you and share with our listeners. For me, it began with me having a conversation with God. And I did it, and I'm still doing it. And He's like, oh, okay, let me show you. Because this is something that I really, really, really struggle with ACEs. I trust no one, not even the people that's driving on the side of the street from me. You're in my lane. You're doing that like it's bad, Renee. But I just want you to know you're not alone. That father wound is real. The motherhood wound is even worse. I listen when people share their stories, and again, I'm hosting, so this is what I'm doing. You got to check out that podcast because you're not alone, man. You are not alone. And I think that was what it was for me. Shout out to my producer at all costs who
is team Torie, has always been team before I was Dr. Torie, let's be clear. And yeah, to keep finding people that are just understanding ACEs and learning about ACEs and it's starting to make sense and click to them. That's the reason why ACEs is what I call the appetizer for your awareness and for your key to start healing, because it's that study, it's that awareness. It's and for therapists, for counselors, for a lot of people, it's professional development, it's intake, it is a screening in California, it's a screening in a few places. But again, it's a conversation we're still not having. So you understand it now, yay. But now we got to take those next steps. So, what makes you a cycle breaker? Because you're just learning, yes, about ACEs, and I understand that. But what makes you a cycle breaker?
I am choosing to make different choices. One thing, one thing I can say was my mother was very paramount in me being like, okay, Renee, I want you to do better. I want you to do better than I did. And she would tell me, Renee, you don't have any children. You're young and you need to go ahead and go to school, get your degree. Even though I was in college when she passed, but I was in college. I did finish. She made sure that I was like, okay, that I was setting myself up to make better choices, that I was doing something that she didn't do, that eventually in my life, when I did settle down and get married, that it wasn't that I married for the right reasons, not because, well, he's the first man that ever showed me any attention. It wasn't anything like that. It was because I came to an elevated space that I was like, I don't want what happened to my parents to happen to me, even though it worked out for them. But I wanted something different for Renee, for Queen. I wanted something different. And that meant I was going to have to make some different choices, be around some different people, and I was going to lock in with the blinders and I wasn't going to settle.
Very good.
So you find yourself making different choices. You have to, if you're going to be a cycle breaker, you must. Because the same stuff won't get you there.
Mm-mm. I think for me, I didn't define cycle breaking. I didn't know what I was doing at all. I just know I didn't want anybody else to experience what I experienced. And so for my five, there are people that have been on this podcast that is like, I'm 10 and I'm proud. Yeah. And I love it because they don't hide behind their ACEs score. I just didn't want people to go through what I went through. You know what I mean? Like, period. Like, I'm trying to cover up dad's mess, mom's mess, uncle's mess, auntie's mess, cousin's mess. It's a lot of stuff going on, but then it's bullying and mass shootings and community violence and financial abuse and sexual abuse and all the stuff that's under the ACEs acronym and umbrella that we're not talking about. I just didn't want people to go through it. So when I went on my journey and I started learning, I was like, this, okay. Because when I was in school and graduated with my psychology degree, ACEs had just came out. So it hadn't hit us yet, especially in our community. But just so you know, it is the second largest study in the United States. Over 17,000 people took this study. And the one that's on my website is a study. So I am using that. Unfortunately, these are the things we have to do. So yes, you are a part of a case study because I have to let people know that what I am doing is legit, real. Everything has some type of impact and it will impact you and affect you through education. I have no other choice because ACEs has so much of an impact, it will impact you mentally and physically. And the research is out there. So that's why there are people on the podcast that talk about ACEs and their ADHD or ACEs and their autoimmune or ACEs and their everything because it really is out there. It's not just males, females, men, women, LGBTQ, BIPOC, everybody. We're talking about 1 in 3. So I get it. But you're that writer, that creative writer, that director, that the person that can help people heal through creative writing. So you're aware of the ACEs categories, but how can ACEs help you share your story or shape your story?
ACEs can help me to tell my story by just letting people know that it's like what you were talking about earlier, that you're not alone. People, there are things that people have gone through, but they can shine a light on that because somebody else is going to see that and somebody else is going through that presently. What happened with me with the different things that I went through with my father and with my mother, those were some years ago, but there's someone going through that fresh right now that needs to know that, okay, okay, yeah, I can accept that truth that this happened, but what am I going to do about it? What am I going to do with this? And how do I want to use that for other people to grow?
Yep.
And it's possible. It is possible. You just have to be authentic
Mm.
and to be like, okay. And I know that could go into a trust with people, but I don't necessarily, I do think that there's a way that I can be like, hey, and I can be transparent enough to be like, yep, this is what happened. But if you don't take that information, then it's all on you. I've done my part, and I wish you Godspeed.
But you know what? A lot of us have that unhealed childhood trauma. Unhealed childhood trauma. A lot of us have the ACEs and we just don't want to discuss it. We don't want to talk about it. We want to leave it in our past. But what people don't know is that's where those red flags come in and fly in and do what they need to do. I honestly am grateful for healing my unresolved childhood trauma. And I say unresolved childhood trauma because that's ACEs. Like, that's what it is. Like, just knowing that, first off, just the story. Like I said, I can't share my dad's story or share my mom's story, but the fact that they experienced what they experienced. My dad's mother passed away when he was 16 years old. He went to the military immediately at 16. Your brain isn't even developed when you're 16 years old. The loss of your mother. So again, that generational trauma, and that's not even my fault. So that's why in that my book, it's time to talk about ACEs. I don't cut to, you know how some books, not to knock books out there, but that's chapter 2. And I always tell people that because we need to get to the root and grounding of what's going on. I forgave my parents after understanding, you know what I mean? Because I was mad for years, and I still am to a certain extent because that generation, and this is just my personal opinion, this is my disclaimer, they don't want to. They don't. It's go to the Lord and have a great day. Or what goes on in this house, stay in this house. Or keep your comments to yourself. Or stay out of grown folks' business. And so what I'm grateful for is that generation is getting older. But it's our generation that has to be the cycle breakers for the next generation. Because I'm gonna tell you now, I got three. I did the divorce. I had no other choice. I tried to do the right thing. I did. But that's that unresolved childhood trauma. I knew from the beginning. From the beginning, I did. I did. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna put the blame on anybody. I'm placing the accountability on myself. I knew good and well. I knew, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna say what he didn't do or what he didn't. I am taking the accountability. So I pretty much placed my kids back in the ACEs umbrella as a cycle breaker that I should have been taking them out of. But I'm not going to say anything about that in regard, because if I wouldn't have went through that experience, I wouldn't have the beautiful children that I have. So I'm not going to knock that. I'm going to learn from that experience, share that experience, and let people know it's those experiences, ACEs, because that awareness of ACEs is what is helping others heal. I'm watching it, you see it, you know what I mean? And it's like, all I can keep doing, Queen, is sharing this. And I need people like you to help me. People need to put it down. It is creative writers. There are poets. There are authors. Of course, you know, there's a bunch of us authors out there. They need you. They need your support. They need your understanding of awareness, because when they're writing and they want to share their story, some people use that extracurricular activity of singing or playing music or playing sports. Some people do creative writing. Some people write books. Some people do other things. So we need you. So you ready to take the cycle breaker journey?
I'm down.
We need you. Like we need you. I love the fact that you said I never heard about ACEs until I met you. You're not alone. It's other people that have. And I always have to give my credit, and I will let you know. For me, it started, I was 225 pounds. Swear. And when I found out about ACEs, I got to give a shout out to Dr. Andrew Fellini and Dr. Robert Anda. They were the doctors. They had a weight loss clinic, and people kept losing the weight and coming back. And they said something's going on here. And if you know about nutrition and dieting and overeating in our community, as soon as somebody died, we at the funeral and we having a reception and we celebrating and we're partying. So I started feeding onto that, and that's how I came up with a lot of the awareness, the concepts, the trainings, the workshops, all of the things, because I'm telling you, the information is out there for people. This isn't a me thing, it's a movement. The information is available on the CDC website. If you put in ACEs, you will see a wealth of information. So this isn't just me, it's just me pouring it out and educating people, because I think it needs to be everywhere. Social emotional learning, schools, businesses, banks, companies, organizations, non-for-profits, name it. Because I've done trainings pretty much everywhere. And I'm going to continue to do it because I believe this awareness is working. So let me tell you, I know you're into healing though, correct?
Yes.
And I know you got some good healing strategies.
Yes.
Tell me some more.
One thing, I'm gonna start with one.
Mhm.
One thing I want you to do is, you know, those side conversations that you've been having in your mind for years about people, about when something good comes around and you say, well, I don't deserve that because I've been through this. Get in your mind that it is okay to want and to have good things. The biggest thing that you will ever deal with on your healing journey is right in here, right in between these ears that you have. They've been open all your life. You've heard some things that you probably shouldn't have heard. I heard some things I probably shouldn't have heard. And people said some things that I probably should not have heard, but you need to know what you deserve right here. You need to know that it's okay to want great things and it's okay to have good things happen to you. That there is not, that the Jaws music is not going to show up when you're like, oh, I want something good. Uh-oh, here comes the Jaws music. Dun, 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 dun. No, it's okay. It's okay. That mindset, and when you can do meditations, I am a huge person on doing meditations. Was it something that I was interested in? Absolutely not. My husband was actually doing meditations and was like, Renee, you should do one of these. Queen, you should do one of these. To any of that. You gotta be outside your mind.
Love it.
I do one every day. Every day. Well, not on Sundays because I get up for church, but every day during the week, I am doing a meditation, a guided one for me because that helps me. But I love doing meditations. Have that time early in the morning when the house is quiet, when nobody's stirring around. No, I'm not telling a Christmas story, but where there is just you and you in a space. Like I'm in my office right now. This is my creative space. I come in here, the door is closed. My husband knows. Uh-oh, my wife's not in bed with me. I know that light is on and she's in her office. She's doing her meditation. She's reading her words. She is reading a book, but I am meditating. Have that time early in the morning. It may not be as early as it is for me because our day starts early around here, but I'm up around 4:30 in the morning, getting that meditation in because it sets my tone for my day. And make sure that I don't be talking to Queen, you know what I'm saying, to Queen Torie, like I ain't got no sense.
Right.
It helps me. So meditation, your physical health, watch your physical health. I'm a big advocate on that. I work out 5 days a week. I'm doing something early in the morning.
It sounds like you're taking care of yourself.
I'm, and it's been a long time where I didn't, where I just rolled out of bed, took a shower, and went to work. And my cup was empty.
Respect.
Make sure that your cup is full.
Oh,
Those are that come to me. If you ever want to talk to me one-on-one, please feel free to, because I'm sure I'll have some more.
but this is what we need. You guys, again, the awareness of ACEs is the awareness. Now, I always share, I am the educator. I don't want to be the therapist. I don't. I want to introduce people to other practical ways for them to start their healing journey. So the ACEs study is the introduction. And then I say, what's your next steps? So with you saying meditation, it's a very good next step because people don't even do that. Because we're so reactive. Our community is reactive. As soon as something happens, we ready to pop off. We ready to knuck if you buck. We ready to go all in. But that's ACEs. You got the shooting that just mass shootings is so normalized now that it's happening all the time. It's called community violence. The Zoom agrees with me. And I'm just telling you what I know because this is what happened. So while people may not think that's of value, have you tried it? Because I'm telling you, even when we're having this conversation, can change everything. So I'm gonna go with you on that one. Very good one. So yes, you are a part of the multifaceted collective. What other things that you do? I know you write, you talked about your wonderful husband, you talked about your career, you talked about your ACEs score. You did talk about trust. That's something we all have to work on. But if there was one thing to someone just beginning their healing journey, what would you say to them?
Watch the people that you are around. Am I stepping on people's feet? It's okay. It's okay. Um, Watch the people that you are around. If you are on a path where you are doing something different, and one of your friends says, Dr. Torie, why are you doing that? Or Queen Renee, why in the world are you doing that? Be okay with cutting people out of your life and not apologizing for it. That's right.
And waving the bye-bye.
Sometimes you have to wish people love and light from across the room.
I've been telling people, I've read this book, don't give everybody a seat at your table. It's a Gigil is his last name. When I tell you it resonated for me, because I'm telling you, the people that people come in chapters, people come in seasons, people come for a lifetime, and people come from a season. They're like leaves. You start rooting, you're grounded, you grow. But as you're growing, sometimes those branches fall off, sometimes those leaves fall off, things happen. But what I have learned is I can't sit and worry about it. I just think about the fact that I'm growing, and I understand that. I have been through so much, but you know what? I don't let that stop me, because if I sit and bask into that, then oh well. What I've also learned is that I can't go back and fix what someone else's perception of me has been. Because if the Lord can forgive me for the things that I've done, and there is growth in me that is different than who I was and when I was, and you still holding on to that, you don't need to be on this ride with me, on this journey with me at all. And I don't miss them. I don't. I've actually had to let people know that this no game that I am on is not the same anymore. Like, my no is for real or no. I mean, do you want me to put it's funny because they're coming up with the TikTok has like what the hell no, and it's like the emphasis is real. What the Halle Berry, you know what I'm saying? Like, my no is really what it is. And I don't think about it anymore, because again, I have Bible verses to prove it, or have read that when you're going on a journey, the Lord are putting people. Psalms 23 prepares the table before you in the presence of your enemies. So that would mean and say it's going to happen. You're going to have haters. You're going to have these type of people, because people don't want to heal. People want to stay in their mess. They want to stay dormant. They want to just continue to be who they are. But yeah, that advice, oh, it resonates well because it happens to us. But when we're doing cycle breaking work and we're healing, it's bound to happen. So we got to run a course and do what we need to do. So I want to tell you this. You've been stuck with me for a minute. Glad that you dealt with me through all of this animated chaos that I have gone through. But I'm not going to use the excuse of, oh, everybody's going through life. We all are, but people have to make time for the things that they want and the things that they value. And the fact that you took the time, you understood, it wasn't like, well, dang, what's going on with her? Of course, there's a lot going on with everybody, but the patience, the understanding, the awareness, I believe, has helped us connect even more, because you didn't see anything else but, yeah, she going through some things. She a sister. I'm a stay with her, and I'm gonna support her. And I value that. I really appreciate appreciate that. It wasn't like, I was like, man, this is what happened. And you're like, yeah, I believe it. Take your time. I'm gonna get with you, or don't forget to send me this. Life happens. And if we really want to support each other like we've been doing, this is what we have to do. So I'm going to continue to support you. I'm going to bring people to you because I got people now saying, hey, you wrote a book, I need help. Well, let me go and introduce you to the queen, because I'm gonna tell you, she's gonna sit down. She know about ACEs. She talks. She's gonna help you put all of your creative genius together and put it on a piece of paper. And that's what we're doing in this community. We're networking, we're collaborating, we're doing what we need to do. So on behalf of myself and my foundation, I thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, because I know how valuable you are. Like I said, I look forward to us discussing every week just how our week went, our strengths, the value that we add to the conversation. And I would love to extend that value to you and extend you an open invitation to our community. It's a pleasure having you for our podcast. You should continue to check out these people. You will see them in the community because they are stuck with me and I am stuck with them, eternity included, of course. And I already convinced Erica to join us, so she's in the community too. And I will share Ken. Ken is a gem. I just did her podcast. So let's continue to do this because I am heavy on awareness, communication, and community and empowerment. I call it the ACE method. And it has really been working. So again, I thank you, Queen, for being here. Let people know where they can find you, because I'm telling you, you're a valuable resource.
Well, you can find me, actually, a Queen Reliable Renee on all social media. So if you have an Instagram, if you have a TikTok, if you have a Facebook, I am on all. But see me act a fool on TikTok for the most part, because I'm gonna do it. Why not?
That. So now I have to join you on TikTok. On TikTok, I am a mom dancing with my kids and acting crazy. So I think that's the thing that people crack up laughing, because they get to see my family. And so that's really how my story evolved into awareness and understanding of ACEs. I'm a mama. I'm raising my 3 girls as a single mom and love it. So yeah, I'll join you on TikTok too. I will. I will. I want to.
So awesome. But yeah, feel free to look me up. I'm there. So yeah,
We
hit me a message.
we're gonna do this. We're already doing it. We're going to continue to do this. And so you guys will see more of us together. And I will let you guys know, clock this tea or put your fans up or whatever it is. Here is another episode of Be Victorious. You all know where to find me. I'm the queen everywhere. Dr. Victorious, Be Victorious Educational Services, Be Victorious, podcast streaming everywhere. We store our podcast on Buzzsprout, but when I tell you this YouTube is starting to blow up, people are starting to finally see it as the educational resource that it is. And I'm very humbled by that, because that's what people are using to help themselves and help others about understanding ACEs education. So again, you guys, thank you for another episode of Be Victorious. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye, you guys.